Hello my cactus friends, it's Jenny from Cookie's Cacti. We are outside in my backyard under the pergola, as you can see. It's a beautiful day, and I'm sitting here with one of my favorite Copiapoa species, Copiapoa Hypogaea. And so I went online in preparation of this video and did a little bit of searching about this Copiapoa species. And I learned that there are actually two naturally occurring forms of Copiapoa Hypogaea. And I learned this from that website. Is it L-Lifel or Lifel? Let me read to you what it says. It says, two forms of Copiapoa Hypogaea are known from the neighbors of Chañaral, which is in the Atacama Desert in the country of Chile. The first, more rare, at north of the town, shows I would say a characteristic that we would call lizard skin. The second, near the town and in the south area with smooth epidermis, also known as Copiapoa barquitensis. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it or not. This second form is more familiar in collections. I should have known. I always thought that lizard skin was a cultivated form, meaning that humans bred the plant to look like that, but I'm completely wrong. It is a naturally occurring form. So you learn new stuff every day. I actually have examples of both forms here today to show you. I have it in a mature plant form and in seedlings. So let's start with the mature plants. I have 5 pots of the smooth skin form, which they call barquitensis. There are actually 5 pots here, but there's 6 plants because one of the plants is really small and is sharing a pot with his larger friend. These plants I purchased from somebody who was letting go of a bunch of his plants in his own collection, and I've had these for a couple of years. And what's nice about them is that they are old enough to flower. So I have successfully pollinated the flowers and harvested seeds off of these plants, and actually some of their children are sitting here, which we will look at next. But you can see that the plant has this form that I really like. I like fat, chubby, squat plant forms, and that's what these plants look like. And I also really like when they have the tufts of hair that grow out the center of the plant, like this one, for example. And you can see these all have spent flowers on them. When I received these plants, they were in a little bit of rough shape. I think some of them look like they had been nibbled on by some rodents, but they're doing fine. Let's see if I have a shot of the nibbling. It's already, calloused over a long time ago, and the plants are doing absolutely fine. But these are my mother plants to what I'm hoping for is lots and lots more seeds. And when I zoom up on these barquitensis, you can see that they also have some texture on the skin. So I have a feeling that there is that line that divides between smooth skin and lizard skin maybe is not that clear, but I could be completely wrong. The second form of Copiapoa Hypogaea, the lizard skin form, I just acquired 3 plants of that form, and I purchased these from Box Cactus Nursery in Tucson about a month ago. I went down to Tucson to do some shopping, no video camera, just shopping for myself. And I think they're $15 each, which is not bad at all for lizard skin. So I purchased 3 plants in hopes of also making seed from these plants. And you can see from the up-close shots of the lizard skin plant, that texture of the skin, it's just so special and so attractive. Now the smooth skin form is more easy to find. I've actually found them all over the place, at least at retail nurseries here. You should be able to find them online and they're not too expensive. Now the lizard skin form tends to be less on the availability side, although I think you can still find them, but they're definitely not as readily available as the barquitensis form. The lizard skin tends to be priced higher, probably because of its lower availability. And then I have another barquitensis, but it's grafted. This one I purchased from Arizona Cactus Sales probably about a year ago. And you can see it is grafted on Myrtillocactus geometrizans as its rootstock. And this plant definitely grows faster than the other ones. The other ones, I think L-Lifel said that they're very slow growing, and I agree. They do grow very, very slow. But this one on the rootstock definitely is on a boosted growth program. And you can see it has spent flowers on it as well. So this can also be used to make more seed. And you'll see on the plant that there are signs of rust fungus infections, at least scars from the past. I think they were earned last winter. I mean, we just coexist with all this fungus, so it's just here. This winter was a very dry winter, so the rust fungus didn't run as rampant as it would have in the past. But if it was, I feel like if we had more rain, there would be a lot more rust fungus on here. But the other thing I did notice is that they are susceptible to mealybugs as well, at least in my experience. I do see some of these with mealybugs on them, and then I just go and manually spray them with a mix of rubbing alcohol and water, and then I pick off the bugs with tweezers. So I've just been manually managing it. I don't know if that's enough, but that's fine. Next, let's look at the seedlings. So I have seedlings of both forms, the barquitensis form and the lizard skin form. Let's start with the barquitensis. So there are 3 pots up here, which all came from seeds off of the barquitensis plants. And this was the first time that I grew Copiapoa Hypogaea from seed. And I actually wanted to do this video before I had repotted these seedlings, but then I messed up so many times that this is actually like the 4th or 5th time of recording this segment of the video. So these have already been repotted, but I have plenty of footage of what the pot looked like before I repotted. So I do find that the Hypogaea seeds came up pretty quick, or the seedlings came up pretty quickly, and they seem to be fairly easy to grow from seed until about a couple months ago that for some reason they showed hints of like degradation or slowdown in the growth, and I don't know why. And I have multiple pots of seedlings here of, outside of this batch, and they're all kind of showing that same characteristic, and I just don't know why. Now, all these seedlings are grown indoors under my grow lights on the grow shelves. I don't know if there's just something about the environment or conditions inside that they're just not as happy with. I don't know. But after this segment of the video, we will do the repotting together. And it's the first time that I've ever repotted Copiapoa Hypogaea seedlings. And I also want to show you what the roots look like, because when you look up this plant online, it will say that they have these very vigorous taproots. And I want to show you whether that's true or not. So do stay on for the repotting portion of this video. I have another pot of barquitensis seedlings as well. These seeds came from a friend, another collector in this area. He gave me these seeds, and so I started them. And look at how cool and how beautiful the plant is. Nice and fat and squat, and you can see that smooth skin epidermis. Really beautiful. This was sowed September 14th of 2023, so it's like a 1.5 years old or so. These ones here were sowed September 13th, 2023, so about the same time, 1.5 years. I have another pot here. This is the lizard skin form. These seedlings I sowed about that same time, mid-September 2023. These seeds I purchased from Unusual Seeds, and in the up close you'll see the texture of that epidermis. It's just gorgeous. I really, really love that lizard skin. There's something so special about it. And same comment on this pot of seedlings as well. For some reason they did well, and then they started to show that sign of degradation and a little bit of desiccation and just not as rigorous as it was before. These were all grown under the grow lights. I'm actually thinking about keeping these outside now because I think starting today, we're already gonna have overnight lows rise up into the 50s. So I may keep them outside and just see if they do better. I have one more pot of a seedling that I did not grow from seed. This is also Copiapoa Hypogaea, and it has locality FK111. This was a gift from Cliff. I did a few videos of Cliff's collection. I think it was the open garden video when I was there, and he wasn't in that video on that one. At the end of that visit, he gifted me a plant, and he gave me this Copiapoa Hypogaea. So beautiful. Look at that color. And you see how all of these seedlings, they all look kind of different from each other, which is why us collectors have such a hard time, I was going to say problem, but that you want the same plant because every plant looks different, right? Has its own characteristics. So those are all of my Copiapoa Hypogaea. In terms of care, The only ones I can really speak upon are the graft and then these 5 pots of the barquitensis, because those I've had for at least a year, if not more, a couple years. Here in Phoenix, I treat them like all my other cactus. They seem to tolerate the hot summers well, and they seem to be fine in our winters too. So there's really nothing all that special to say about the care. In terms of growing them from seed, it's about the same as I grow all the other Copiapoa from seed. But only time will tell. We're at 1.5 years, and I start to struggle with these seedlings once they go beyond that 2-year mark. I'm even struggling before the 2-year mark. So it's just a learning experience, and we're just going to figure it out as we go. But so far on these more mature plants, I just treat them like the other cactus. No special treatment in the Phoenix area. So now let's jump back in time to yesterday, where we're going to repot these Copiapoa Hypogaea barquitensis seedlings together. I'm going to show you the roots, and then I'll meet you back over here. See you yesterday. Okay, we have a little bit of light left for the day, so let's go ahead and unpot these outside. So as you can see, these were sowed on September 13th of 2023. Let's get these out of here and see what they look like. I can feel can you see it on here? There's like a bulge here. Let's see what they look like underneath the soil. Apologies on my neighbor's dog. It's gonna be unavoidable. Whoa, they are carrots. Oh my goodness, it's true. They do have pretty substantial taproots. So you can see this is grown in my Miracle-Gro seed starter with Miracle-Gro perlite. Very, very heavy on the perlite. Oh yeah, look at those taproots. Oh my goodness. Wow, look at that. Oh my gosh, look at those roots. It's a full-on radish. It's gonna come apart. Sort of. Okay. Wow, look at that. Holy moly. They weren't lying about those taproots in some of the pictures I saw online. My goodness. Well, the roots look pretty healthy. There's like a plant stuck. Ooh, it's been squished into oblivion. I'll just leave it there. Ooh. I don't know if my microphone will pick up, but the neighbors, I think the kids might be having a birthday party or something. They're having a lot of fun in the backyard, jumping on one of those inflatable jumping things. Oh gosh, if I was a kid, I would go over there and say, "Can I join you?" Whoa, look at that. I hope these are like their parents, fairly low maintenance, easy, I hope. Is this one okay? The roots look good, but the plant is a little bit squishy at the base. You know what? I'm not going to separate this. I'm going to let them stay together. Okay, so let's see how many plants there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, not including those little extra ones. So if you look at this plant, I know I can't zoom on this camera, but see the top is kind of squished and stuff, but the roots are huge. It's like an iceberg. See, like this is a plant that I feel like is not doing well, and I don't like, or it's not doing terrible, but you can see how it's a little bit deflated and stuff. I don't understand. The roots look really good. But when I was reading about these plants, it did say that these are like underground growers. Maybe it's supposed to be like this? I don't know. So I have a whole bucket of more Miracle-Gro seed starter with perlite, which I've already wetted down. It looks like this. You can see it's like almost identical to the old stuff. So I'm going to repot this in this moist new soil. For the sake of space, I'm going to plant them like multiple plants in a pot. Let's see, how should we do this? I said there were about 15 plants or so. I went inside to go get my tampers that my dad made me and my little, what is this called? A dibber or something? These are necessary. I very rarely repot seedlings outdoors, so this is a new experience. I'm gonna go ahead and fill these up off camera. You don't need to watch me do this. Okay, so I filled up 3 of these pots. I'm thinking I can put 5 per pot. What do you think when I do this? I think I know what I'm doing by now, but I don't. I'm gonna start in the middle, maybe? Put one of these big guys in the middle. This one. Oh. Oh no, let me get some of the roots in there. Okay. 1 down. This is giving me PTSD of the 7-hour video that we did repotting Astrophytum. I don't think I've done any seedling repotting since then. Wow, look at that carrot. That was like in November, December. It's now almost March. Is that deep enough? No. Oh no, this really is PTSD. I need my other tamper. I'm gonna go get it. Okay, got it. Yes, that's better. So what kind of soil mix do you all use for your Copiapoa? Like, especially for seedlings. What do you all use? You know, everybody has their own formula that they use for growing these. I think these plants will forever remain a mystery, right? Probably. Such a squished plant next to it. It's got like a, makes no sense. Maybe, yeah, that makes no sense. I'll just leave it there. Sorry, I know that this fixed lens camera doesn't zoom, but this fixed lens camera does connect to my external mic. Ooh. This is the one that was discolored. Don't know why. Roots look good. Okay, last one. Okay, how about this one? I don't want to separate these two. I'll just let them live together. Yeah, that's fine. Ow! They have like really small spines on them. Goes right into the skin. Why don't I wear gloves? I don't know. Kind of loses dexterity for something so delicate and small. These Copiapoa really are in the wrong desert. They come from the Atacama. It's not a hot desert, but it's very dry. But then they get like the coastal fogs. Whereas the Sonoran Desert is very hot. It's dry too, but we're supposed to have monsoons, you know, in the summer, but we haven't been getting them. It's supposed to be a wet desert compared to the Atacama, but we definitely do not get any fog. There's no moisture in the air. So they're really in the wrong desert. But the Hypogaeas seem to be okay here. The others are still up for debate. I'm gonna see if I can murder less plants this year. I'm planning basically once the season starts to warm up is to basically leave them alone. Not like last year where I was still repotting when it was, what, May? And it ended up murdering like 3 or 4 dozen of my seedlings. I'm not gonna do that this year. I'm just gonna leave them alone. And if I have to like do any serious moves like last year where I got my yard redone, I just will not water them when they're under like stress conditions like that. That's gonna be this summer's strategy. So all the repotting needs to be done before our temperatures warm up too much. I would say once it hits like 90, 100, I'll probably stop any kind of this. So if it, you know, activities like this. So if I want to repot, it's got to be done now and in the next couple months. And after that, stop. That's my strategy for this year. You know, I wish there were book references for Copiapoa. There are, but they're all out of print. Like I think there's that famous one, Copiapoa and Their Environment. There's a couple editions. Those are all out of print. And if you can find any on the market, they're like $300. Yeah, no. Luckily, the CACSS has like a copy of the old version 1. And they have another handbook on Copiapoa that I've borrowed too. But you know, if I had a couple of those books, I could read off information about it on these plants, but I can't because I don't have those books. Okay, these 3 are done. That wasn't too bad. So the roots looked good. I used some pumice as top dressing. I don't know why they're like not looking as good as they were before. No idea. I'll have to make a couple more labels. Though for now, these are the only repotted Copiapoa Hypogaea seedlings I have, so it's not too difficult to, you know that 2 of these pots without the labels belong to that same batch. I really hope some of these can live long enough so that we can see those tufts of hair develop. That would be nice. There's still a mystery to me on how to care for these Copiapoa, especially as they get older. I feel like when they're young, it's really easy. But when they're older, that's when it becomes very questionable. I swear my plants do better when I forget about them. Because I'll go through phases where I'm just not really looking at them very much, you know, or visiting them very much. And I feel like that's when they do the best. So when I just leave them alone. I don't know, what about you all? Like the pergola, I haven't been coming out to spend time in it so much lately, which is kind of odd. You would think I would because this is the time of the year that I can spend outdoors, but I don't. Okay, I think we're done. Should be good. I hope they do okay. So now I know they have huge taproots, so it can be, no, they don't need that much water. Should I mark this? Well, now we have it on video, so, oh wait, I have a pencil here. Today is the 22nd as we speak, so I'll go ahead and make a note. February 22nd, 25. Today is the 10-year anniversary of when Cookie adopted me. I'm amazed that we made it this far together considering all of her health problems, so I'm very grateful of that. Okie dokie, that is it. And we're back. So what did you think about those roots? Oh my gosh. They weren't lying online when they said that they have big, deep tap roots. And here are the plants repotted. They're gorgeous, aren't they? I really hope that they do okay. Every time I repot something, it always feels like it's a risk, but it's just part of the hobby. So I hope you enjoyed this video on Copiapoa Hypogaea. Do any of you have these Copiapoa? And if so, how do you care for them? What kind of soil mix do you use? I would love to know. So until next time, happy growing, y'all. Take care. Bye-bye.